Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich Island. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, we still don't have like any manpower, which might be an issue when the war actually breaks out, because we're at 58% roll tension, halfway through 39. I'm trying to think like what else can happen right now. When is the war going to kick off, right? We're probably looking, I would say, at like maybe an early 1940-ish. Would be my guess, at least right now. I actually just want to go straight to the 1940 aircraft. I think that I do. So in 217 days, we'll start making our fighters. We're going to be a little bit delayed on that. I will admit that. Efficiency gain, speed and agility sounds great. Let's get that one going. I'm only -1, which is just fine. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Infrastructure, civilian factories. We do have that extra research slot down here as well, which would be nice to have. But I think we also maybe want to start getting some of this military tree done as well. So you know what? Let's do some coastal fortifications. 35 days on you sounds okay. Now again, our political power is still 0.25. It's still really, really, really bad. I would like to get that fixed as soon as we can. So I think that means all of our coastal batteries are... Actually, we didn't build our two over here. We'll get those two going. We will build a few military factories in Connacht. And a legacy of the Fianna. As France has the Paladins of Charlemagne and Britain the Knights of the Round Table, so too has Ireland had its own warriors of legend, the Fianna. Historically, small bands of roving hunter warriors made up of landless young noblemen. They were the most well known for their tales of the mythological hero Fionn mac Comhail, the leader of the group of the Fianna, who based themselves in a forest atop the hill of Allan in Kildare, north of the Curragh, where a Irish military base lies in the present day. Though Fionn and most of his valiant followers would be tragically slain in the Battle of Gabra by the forces of the High King Charbert Lifechair, which great name, who himself would fall in the fighting at the hands of Fionn's grandson Oscar and the rival Fianna clan led by Gol Mac Morna. Their gallant legacy has lived on in Irish culture. As the Irish people regained their pride in their ancient heritage during the Gaelic revival, the valor and martial prowess of the Fianna became inspirational for countless Irish revolutionaries, with nationalist organizations such as the Fenian Brotherhood and the Fianna Éireann taking them as their namesake, and the Amran na Bafian and the IRA's cap badge referring to Ireland's solidarity as the Fianna Fáil, meaning the warriors of the Innis Fáil, the old poetic name for this island. However, while the Irish Republican Army can trace their roots to this warrior band tradition, it additionally finds expression in the form of paramilitarism. Nonetheless, in the wake of the prior year's crisis, the phenomenon has begun to die down, with the UVF and the Blue Shirts hampered by crackdowns, and in the case of the latter, splintering between the AN and the ANAA. The ISA too have struggled in their efforts to take advantage of the discontent of the poor in the face of economic recovery. Instead of going underground to prepare to assist a potential syndicalist invasion should continental tensions turn into war. The Fianna of old may no longer roam the land, but the true successor continues to march in the rolling plains of the Curragh. Okay, so 5 army experience. Not really... not that important in really any way, any sense of the word, but, I mean, we'll take it. I mean, we could theoretically get, like, a Spirit of the Academy. More attack, more defense. I mean, I never really, like, look at these things too often, do I? Planning logistics, Spirit of the Army... Because we're not gaining any of this, because we don't have any military staff. We don't have a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like we're actually pretty far behind where I would like to be in 1939. Like, we have our advisors, yes. Our conscription law is good. Partialization is okay. But we don't have any military staff. We don't even have any doctrines, right? Like, maybe we have one doctrine. Like, we're not really where we want to be. And also, you know what we should do? We should combine our navies together. Combine them all up. Let's put in Seamus. Congratulations. You get a hold onto the very, very, very tiny Irish fleet. Okay, what do we want to research right now? Do we have naval invasion tech? We don't. Okay, that might be important for any potential war with the British. We'll get that going. Output cost minus 3%. Conversion speed goes up. Give me the breakthrough. And I do want to start producing some medium tanks. So what do we want? Let's go for the 2-man... I always think like 3-man turrets usually the best. I mean, it's a little bit slower, but don't care. Close support gun, cannon. Again, I want it to be like fairly cheap. For the obvious reason that like I'm not gonna have like a great heavy machine gun's kind of okay. I mean, it's just a heavy machine gun on the 3-man turret, which maybe is like actually like dog shit. Put the medium howitzer on here. Throw in the basic radio. 8 production cost. Will boost you up. And I think that's reliability of 60 is pretty bad. Give me the what ammunition storage? 75. Go up to 90. Yeah, let's get a torsion bar. We'll save this up. We'll start producing our medium tanks. And I don't want to build trucks. So we'll cancel truck production for now. I'll put them back in the list. But just at the bottom down here for right now. And we'll slowly start producing our medium tanks. Now we're missing 2 tungsten. How bad is that a penalty on you? 5%. I mean, 5% is fine. We don't need to worry about that. At least not right now. We ignore you. I know we have low manpower, but we don't have template for the medium tanks. That's fine. I mean, what we do is we just basically like duplicate you, replace you with medium tanks. Let's go 10 combat width, and then we'll throw some infantry in here as well. It's not going to be like a great army by any means, but we'll throw you into a 20 combat width. That seems okay. 4 kilometers is fine. We'll save that bad boy up. And let's get like just one of you for now. I don't need anything like super crazy. Aside from that, how are you guys doing down here? Okay, you've actually taken the ports away from the social Italians. I'm happy to see that. I'm glad that the Two Sicilies hasn't died yet. I really thought they would. In the Italian state, the fact that the Italian state hasn't even done anything yet, well, I'm a little disappointed to say the least. I mean, the fact that even Spain is still alive. I mean, I don't know how most of these people are even still kicking right now. And it's fine. I'm trying to actually think, because like Germany's going to eventually get kicked out once the Second Weltkrieg actually begins. That's also going to be true in Italy as well, but Italy's just going to actually just end up joining the Weltkrieg directly, so... And there's a lot of SRI, or not SRI, there's a lot of Two Sicilian troops down in Sicily itself. It'd be nice if they could be sent up north a little bit. My fair Fabian. The last few decades have seen an untold change in the literary world, with Romanticism eclipsed by realism and then modernism. This artistic upheaval has replaced the old with the new. The rate of change seems to be unceasing. Different writers have fit into this in various ways, but the distinct nature of the writings of George Bernard Shaw have necessitated the coinage of the eponym neologism. Shavian. I can read. Born in 1856 into a family of Anglo-Irish Protestant Dubliners, the background usually associated with privilege, his father's drinking meant his own family was of modest means. He moved to London at 19, following his mother after his parents' separation, and began life anew. He began writing novels, plays, music critique, and newspapers columns, but also became involved in what would be the Fabian Society, writing as a political polemist. Both his writings and political views evolved and progressed over the coming decades, which later shifted into Marxism and Fabianism to his own idiosyncratic socialist perspectives that have been described as outspoken as they are self-contradictory. He has, at different times, cascaded vaccination, organized religion, anti-Semitism, and espoused support for vegetarianism, the Maximists in the Union of Britain, and the action of Michael Collins in particular. Shaw continues to write prolifically and is considered a preeminent pro-Irish voice in the Union of Britain's intellectual sphere, where he has lived almost all of his professional life. His more gradualist socialist leanings withered away with the advent of the British Revolution after his moderate home ruler views on Ireland shifted after the 1916 Rising. Despite his only occasional visits, he has maintained mutual admiration and close working relationships with the likes of W.B. Yeats and Sean O'Casey, both closely associated with the Irish nationalist movement. In previous years, his unconventional views, let alone place of residence, made him one of Ireland's most notorious emigrants for the media and political establishment. But time and his Nobel Prize have softened opinions on him, even from his true political opposites. He remains a son of Ayr, who remains true to his country as he sees it, and one who eagerly awaits works that bring no lack of discussion and intrigue. Well, I will take the 5 political power. Thank you very much. What does guerrilla warfare do for us right now? Constitution prevails. Guerrilla warfare right now. Supply consumption, negative 50% consumer goods. We can make that better for us. Less attrition would be nice. Encirclement penalty. The thing with encirclement penalty, well, I mean, we need it eventually to get our way down further into this tree. But, like, the encirclement penalty is only useful if you're dying, which we don't want to be doing in the first place. Okay, we have units we can deploy. The cavalry divisions, again, we don't have any unit slots for that right now. Okay, so it looks like Red Army has, yeah, they're going to go back up to the northern front. And how are you guys doing? 4 divisions. I mean, we did kill a significant number of SRI troops because I don't know how many actually went down to Sicily itself. We got some good kills there. Definitely going to weaken them for when the Second Valkyrie actually begins. And again, it would be nice if the Italian state got involved as well. Open up another front against the SRI. But I don't think they will actually do that, unfortunately. I mean, the units they have here have gone down. They think these have, like, what, like 6 divisions in some of these provinces? So they have weakened themselves ever so slightly. Which, of course, is beneficial. Also, we need to get you going. 10 more political power. We can get another federal assembly down here as well in Munster. That's still going to take a while. New York City's collapsed. Which is good. I mean, it looks like the SRI, or not the SRI, the CSA is going to fall. Which is lovely for us. Pacific States are also going to completely collapse. Now, when the Pacific States surrenders, I don't know if the Canadians are going to surrender as well. Like, that would be nice. The American Union State probably will stay neutral. But it's not impossible that we see them join the Reichspakt. Which, of course, would be very nice for us. Of course, the CSA does still have a lot of major cities, which is a real shame. Now, I think the American Union State will win in the long run. The green, white, and orange. It is known simply as the tricolor, or the Trihadjach, and is the national flag of Ireland. First loaned in 1848 by Thomas Francis Meagher in the Waterford City, Irish Republican and later governor of Montana, it was sewn for him by a group of French women sympathetic to the Irish nationalist cause at a time of revolution in France itself. Meagher's intended symbolism and the inspiration for the French tricolor has remained unchanged in its interpretation. Green for the Gaelic tradition and Roman Catholics, orange for those Protestant followers of William of Orange, famed victor of the Battle of Boyne in 1690, which led to the entrenchment of the political ascendancy, and white, representing the everlasting hope of peace and unity between these two traditions. Tricolor pattern of the flag became of being, of course, rich in association with the ideals of republicanism, liberty, and revolution. Despite existing for almost 80 years, it held familiarity, but was in the background of public consciousness for the majority of its existence. Only growing in stature rapidly after it was flown above the GPO in 1916. Since then, it has come to represent, at first, Ireland republicanism, and shortly afterwards, Ireland itself. Its critics are a few. Some would point out the futility in representing a group of people that is loyalist Protestants on a flag of a republic that is, under normal circumstances, would want no part of. Most hardline nationalist critics would point out that loyalists make up 1/3 of the flag, despite their numbers being closer to 1/6 of the population. For the vast majority of the people, however, the government included, is a symbol of Ireland. However aspirational as it may be, one of the few political matters that almost everybody can agree on. Well, I mean, that's just free stability, baby. I'm not going to say no to that one. And, of course, we get more support for the Labour Party as well, which is very, very nice. Okay, guerrilla warfare is good. Okay, this is going to be our heir. What about you? Training time goes down. Bonus research. 5% more recruit population would be nice. 1 off-map military factory over here. 2 off-map military factories as well. Okay. Let's revive flying columns. We need to get all this stuff done anyways, so might as well get it done now. Because I mean, we're at 66%. The war could begin like any time. Has any bombing of Avancourt happened? Japanese claims on Germany to Asia, provocation of naval exercises. The answer is no. So when Germany bombs Avancourt or France bombs whatever the other other option is, whenever that happens, then we'll probably see the second Valkyrie. So you might be seeing it in like a few months from now. Okay, military factory's almost done. Let's go you down to just 1. Let's build up some AA guns in Northern Ireland and in Leicester, just so we can try to protect against potential British Air Forces here. Because Ireland, is it one air zone? Okay, it is its own air zone. Okay, technology, what do we want? Let's improve our AA guns a little bit as well. Everything in the artillery section is just so cheap that it always kind of feels bad to not take it. Because it's just like 72 days? That's like 2.5 months. Like, why would you say no to that? Give me more breakthrough on this. Okay, we don't have the 10 army experience, unfortunately, right away. But we can get that a little bit later. Okay, war in Africa is fine. I don't think Ethiopia really matters at all. I mean, I think Ethiopia can theoretically join the Reichspakt. But even then, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not like if Egypt could join the International, that would be one thing, but they can't. So I don't think we care at all about who wins in that fight. Now I do see the SRI is pushing a little bit further into Two Sicilies, which is like not great. Italian state, can you just invade, please? The Irish Syndicalist parties, the Workers' Republic newspaper, while officially banned under legislation from the 1920s as radical, seditious material, has a modest underground readership. Within its pages, its readers are discovering or rediscovering the works of some of Ireland's most prominent socialist authors, the O'Flaherty brothers, Tom and Liam. Born in the Irish-speaking Aran Islands off the west coast, Tom spent most of his early years at home, before going to America in 1912. Taking up work as a journalist. His younger brother Liam had sought to become a priest, and in 1908 headed to the mainland, where he eventually became a militant member of the Irish Volunteers. When the Ville Creek came, Tom had begun organizing Irish laborers of the docks of Boston and New York to join the international workers of the world, far away from the war. Liam, on the other hand, saw the war as an opportunity, recognizing that Irishmen would need military experience to throw off the British yoke, so he enlisted in his oppressor's army under a false name. He returned home after the war, wounded and shell-shocked, but immensely proud of the news that he would hear of the Irish War of Independence and the French Proletarian Revolution. The horrors of the war had made him a socialist, just as the suffering of the American proletariat had made his brother. Both were initially partisans of Sinn Féin, but now became founding members of the Rhodey Collies Irish Syndicalist Party. In 1920, the brothers reconnected in Boston and began developing strong passion for writing. Tom already dabbled in proletariat literature, while Liam was drawn to the typewriter to have something to help him cope with the war and record stories of his travels. Though he was younger and newer to the art, Liam soon made a career out of it. His stories dealt more in the world of symbolism, metaphor, and satire, whereas Tom's writing remained grounded in blunt political rhetoric and, after his own return to Ireland in 1934, mundane observations of rural life. Tom only managed to get a few stories published for the eventual death in 1936, leaving Liam to carry on his older brother's struggle, both in the world of writing and in the world revolution. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit more support for totalism and syndicalism, which doesn't matter, because again, we have that national spirit, which just reduces their support anyways. By 0.01, it'll be removed in February of 1940, which actually is sooner than I would probably like. Okay, let's get our final assembly. You'll be done in a month. And then we can start appealing to the nationalists. We can start appealing to the loyalists. And try to make Northern Ireland not rebel. Because I do know that there is a Ulster tag, which can rebel against us. So that's something that we do want to keep in the back of our mind. We do not want to, we do not want to have a rebellion at home if we can avoid it. Okay, we do have our radar stations. Do we want to get them up to level 2? I mean, we have a research slot open. So we could think of, because it's... Actually, no, we want to get the 1940 infantry equipment, 1940 support equipment, all that good stuff as well. And what's our bonus here? It is actually to say, it just tells us what the focus it came from. Okay, but Troy has fallen to the Canadians. So the CSA, I mean, they're very close to being killed off. I would really like for Canada and the American Union State to peace out. Realize that the Pacific states are done. Like, they're not, like, they have Seattle. What are they going to do with Seattle? Nothing at all. And I don't want Canadian and American troops to be fighting. I want Canada to focus on the CSA, and that's it. That's all I want them to do. How are you guys looking? They have 14. Why do you have 14 divisions in this one province? I do not understand. So the government received calls to make an official statement regarding the upcoming Pan-Celtic Congress, taking place shortly on the Isle of Man. The Pan-Celtic movement could be described as a fringe position at best, calling for enhanced cooperation, cultural exchange, and mutual understanding among the Celtic peoples, namely those from Ireland, Scotland, the Isle of Man, Wales, Cornwall, and Brittany. The idea of a Celts as a separate race, as opposed to different groups of people who spoke a related group of languages, took root in the 1800s, with advancements in the field of linguistics, but remains a matter of scholarly debate. While de facto apolitical, it is unsurprising that many of its participants in the Congress would advocate for independence, or at least autonomy, for the respective nations. They would hold the view that the Celts are a nation race, and share solidarity with each other in their belief of their literal marginalization by the French and English, forcing them to live on the edge of their respective landmasses. Pushed up against the wild northern Atlantic, and also the severe discrimination experienced by their languages, driven almost to extinction in some cases. For most attendees of the Congress, however, the occasion is a lighthearted one, full of songs and stories. The evening is punctuated with displays of each nation's respective musical styles and traditions, with songs often sharing a common origin, coming together in varied concurrent arrangements like some sort of Celtic symphony. Even the most radical of the Irish nationalists never aimed for a united Celtic state, let alone an Irish-led one, as regardless of the debate as to where this would begin or end, or the relative lack of a shared identity, the struggle of independence alone was enough. Nonetheless, the idea of some form of Celtic kingship, however tenuous, holds a certain romanticized appeal across the political spectrum, and the state's official delegation was well received, as it is said, as much to the attendees of the Congress. But I think with that, it's going to be a good time for us to end off for today, so if you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. Not joking, thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.